researching is genetically modified foods' effect on people and the environment of Victoria and New South Wales. Genetic modification is a process that takes desirable genes from one organism and puts them into another, giving improved characteristics. For example, putting vitamin A into rice for added nutritional value. GM crops were created to improve the sustainability of food production and agricultural practices. Since the release of GMOs in the 1980s, over 30 years of data has been collected, examined, and evaluated to conclude that GMO has no harmful effects on food safety and minimal impact on the environment, agriculture, and people. The implications that GMO have on the environment, farmers, food circulation, the economy, and the globe are clear. According to some scientists, organisations, and most media outlets, GMOs are extremely harmful for the environment, agriculture, and humans, causing GM pollution, cancers, tumours, and premature death. Currently in Australia, 3 GM crops are grown: canola, cotton, and safflower, all genetically modified for resistance, tolerance, and nutrition. The first GM canola crops were commercially cultivated in Victoria and New South Wales in 2008 after a moratorium on canola was lifted in 2007. In reality, the negatives of GMOs include false media coverage, broadcasting incorrect statistics and results, causing consumer confusion, frustration, and anxiety. GM pollution is a major issue for non-GM and organic farmers, with cross-breeding producing crops that are GM. This can lead to a renounce on their organic certification and loss of income. Farmers also struggle with exporting products to a number of countries around the world. The consumer issues centre around labelling, or lack thereof. Those with dietary restrictions can unknowingly be eating restricted foods due to lack of labelling. For example, an animal gene can be put into a vegetable, leaving vegans and vegetarians unaware. The ban on cultivation and imports in Europe is another reason consumers don't trust GMOs, with the ban being more for political and economical reasons, not for safety. Due to this lag, developing countries aren't getting the GM crops they need to survive. However, GMO is mostly beneficial, with its ability to increase yields, shelf life, and nutritional value, decrease energy use, land needed, labour, and water, be resistant to cold, heat, droughts, floods, pests, and weeds. GM foods are actually safer than non-GM or organic foods due to the rigorous risk assessments and tests they go through, as well as the sophisticated way in which crops are produced, with harmful chemicals and dangerous crossbreeding in traditional farming causing bigger safety issues. Genetically engineering crops allows farmers to produce 18,700,000 pounds of food for 9 billion plus people by 2050, totaling a 70% increase in food production. Currently, 800 million children go to bed hungry, and 124 million children have died or suffer from vitamin A deficiency since 2002. The farming land, labour, money, sprays, and energy involved in feeding that many people through traditional farming practices isn't possible, much less sustainable. It also allows nutrition to be added and vaccines to be given through food for developing countries. Genetically engineering crops allows these problems to be solved. Europe is currently in political negotiations to allow GM to be cultivated and imported, hopefully having a follow-on effect in developing countries. It is important to educate others on GMO, and don't believe everything you hear on the internet or in 60 Minutes. Ultimately, it's your choice whether you eat and support GM farmers. However, in my research, it may be safer to do so.